Good morning. This is Audrey Roosevelt, a student at Cambridge Central School. And Audrey, I have a couple of questions this morning about Mr. Tyner, who is your English teacher and who is a nationally board certified teacher. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, how does Mr. Tyner make you feel?
Well, a lot of things Mr. Tyner does. It's in his classroom. It's very. You can say anything you want, and well, not obviously not anything like terrible, but you can say anything you want, and he's very accepting. And the way he makes me feel is like, I guess in this room I know I can be happy there, and anything I do, he will always be positive about everything, and it's not really negative. I don't get any negative vibes in his room at all. It's really good actually. I really like being in his room, and yeah.
Okay. Could you tell me a story about a time when he actually made you feel that way?
Well, I really like when he was talking about, like, he always opens up to us about, like, him and his relationships and his family and everything, and like, there's this one time he was talking about his family, and, like, some of the troubles he's been going through, and with his wife and everything, and like you could tell that he really loved his family, and it was just and he cares about everyone, and it's just nice to be around that type of person, I guess.
Okay. Um, when you think about this year, what's different about it?
Well, this year we get to do like a lot of our own decisions about our reading, and I feel like it's better because it encourages people to read a little bit more, I think, because if you just have certain books that the teachers make you read and you don't get to choose any of your own books, I feel like it doesn't really encourage people to be interested in reading, because they don't get to choose what they want. So if you just, well, I understand that sometimes you have to have books that you should read for class, but it's good to encourage people to read outside of class in their own choosing of their books is good.
Okay. If Mr. Tyner represents a nationally board certified teacher to you, what would you say to the principal to encourage them to support that professional development for other teachers?
Well, I would say that, well, well Mr. Tyner, I feel like they should have more teachers like him, because he just the way he has us learn is actually fun, and it's interesting, and it's not something like usually you just sit in a class and you get bored, and but in his class it's always exciting, and we're doing different things, and it's more interesting than a regular course, I would say. I think it's pretty fun for me anyways.
Okay. I know you're a really strong student. Can you think of a time this year when you might have struggled with something and what his response to that struggle was?
Yeah. This is kind of funny because I was just talking to them about this a couple days ago. There was this thing we had to do for commas, like comma placement, and I had a really hard time with that because I apparently did not know how to use commas at all. And I went through it, and after I got a really bad grade on it, he helped me, and we went back through it again, and it was really good to have, because he was just sitting with me and talking me through it, which was really helpful for me, and making everything make sense. And he took the time to go through it all with me, which is like a whole after school period. So it was really nice for him to do that, and it was just really helpful for me to be able to figure that out, because I would have had no idea I was doing it wrong all my life.
Nice. If you were to talk to another teacher in the building and encourage them to take this professional development, this step, because it is a commitment of time and obviously energy, what would you say to them?
I would probably say that's worth it, because just I feel like from Mr. Tyner at least. I mean, obviously he doesn't really, because he's just his own person. Obviously, it's not just because of probably whatever this is that he's the way he is, but I feel like it definitely probably encourages students to be more interested in learning. Like I was definitely more engaged during this year than I was in a lot of years past. I just found it's just, for the students, I feel like it's better. I don't know. It's just, easier to absorb information, and it's more interesting and fun than just sitting down, reading your book that you have to read, and not even discussing it really. It's just better. I don't know.
Great. Thank you, Audrey. I appreciate your time this morning.